So timestamps exist in case you just want to skip forward, but I will be going through my short record because, well, it's been half and half for me. I think my win rate is like at 47-ish something %. But just to show you really quickly what's going on with my win rate, yeah, 15%. Also, just a little quick look at the gold chip again. Again, I'm missing a lot of. I don't have XLs. I don't have acceleration. So I think it's mainly Ogre Cap, although she hasn't been doing much better anyway, and the reason should be self-apparent. But I promise you, me trying to run Wits build, I'm part of the 1% in which it just doesn't work out for me. And then there's Simply Rudolph. Happens to have a lot of Excel, but obviously not built to win because I made some mistakes in Simply Rudolph's run as well. So, as we do our first entry of the day, because that's what the video is for, yeah, let's just see what we can do. Normally, I would think of, doing a few more runs for the CM, but not really any point. I wouldn't recommend it either. It's just what... if we're looking at the time scheduling of when we think events are going to happen, if it's not just champions meetings, then, well, you don't have time. Especially with Track Blazer runs taking anywhere from 40 plus minutes to an hour, over an hour, 20 minutes, if you are trying to plan things out properly. Me, it's 40 minutes because I just speed through and kind of AFK, which is the primary reason why my gold chip should have actually been UG, but I made an actual huge human error. So, as we see 3 front runners, and that's kind of the bane of my existence, actually 4 front runners. Not really much else to look at, just want to look at the guts levels, just in case I get dueling, just to see what happens. Even though I kind of know what's going to happen, but shrug. But I also just noticed that the screen is not where it should be, so I'm going to do this and see what happens. And then, hopefully, things will look a little better. But, yeah, I'll go over my training as we kind of sit through the race. There's not really much happening until about 800 meters left from the final leg, for no other reason than 777s into Festive Miracle, but that's a whole other thing to think about entirely. So, as I try to full screen this, because boy oh boy, does it look better when it's full screen for me, yeah. So, the primary mistake I made with Gold Chip's training run, which is the Ace Gold Chip you're seeing here, is something I'll explain in a moment. Also, immediately 3 Christmas Ogre Caps, but the important part is that, yeah, my gold chip should have been UG, but I accidentally used 150 points getting Charming, even though I already got Charming because I got Acupuncture. So that was the main mistake. That 150 points is, like, if you just want to do one-to-one monkey brain, it is 75 points. And if you noticed, my gold chip has, like, 1100 powers. So that would have definitely pushed her because there are a few more adjustments that I didn't do. Not even taking risks. That was the gold chip that I have here was a really safe run. Some trainers will tell you not to do safe runs. Do whatever fits for you. For me, I have to play it safe because every time I try to gamble on even like a 50-50, it works out only 25% of the time, so shrug. Also, with 4 front runners, this is the problem. I think I know what I'm going to do for the next Taurus Cup coming up, but it's probably not going to go well for me, but it's something I have to try because trying to run consistently, it's trying to be consistent or is not working out as well, even though I'm doing moderately well, but then also taking risks is also just super bad for me as well. So, U equals MA squared right here would be great, but it's not going to happen. So instead we get an angling and scheming from the Saiyan Sky, we get Festive Miracle from everyone else, and I'm just here being sad. So without further ado, pump iron, hope for the best, and hope that I duel with my Simply Rudolph, because we can still catch up here. Again, I did do there was a practice run where dueling here, with gold chip just shoots forward. Unfortunately, I don't get that, so it seems like it's going to be a 6th, 7th, and 9th place for me. Nice Simply Rudolph ult doesn't do anything for me, unfortunately, so shrug. I saw one Simply Rudolph run in which it happened to work out. The only reason it did is because of the full XL RNG that I got during that race. So if you see any Simply Rudolph wins from me, it is literally every single acceleration hitting at the best possible moments, or near enough the best possible moments. It doesn't need to be exact, it just needs to cover the acceleration phase, hitting that final corner. But because Simply Rudolph has, I think, like 4, including corner, I think Corner Connoisseur is final corner XL, even if the full corner and not just the actual full corner, even though it's kind of odd talking about this, so I'm not going to talk about this. It's already too It's already a lot. I see double dom here as well, so that's going to be interesting to see. But no front runners is also not great for me to see. I actually want to see at least 1 or 2, but I don't want to see 3 or 0 because a few more than a few Ogre caps are running groundwork, and I don't have groundwork on my Ogre cap, so. Which I didn't check, but I highly doubt anyone's running a Guts build. In fact, this is double dom, 2 Christmas Ogre. So Christmas Ogre plus 2 two Dominator Uma Musume is something to see. Although we take the front, so now it's going to be a Fist of Miracle proc battle. That being said, with only Pace Chasers, that allows Gold Chip and sometimes Simply Rudolph to do better. But after that, I mean, with Gold Chip pushing into 5th here because of how things go. Because my Simply Rudolph is not a strong late surger, this ends up happening right here. So this gold chip right here, my gold chip just pulls forward over the late surgers because of, I think it's a lot of Uma stand plus I think 1 or 2 other skills. I don't remember at the moment because I don't remember all my skills. But as we approach the mid leg and everyone starts speeding up, because there's a downhill here in the middle of the race, so you could just get some random accelerations and just start zooming forward. Because I'm not running high wits, because I have problems with wit skill, that's something to see. Also, nice block, by the way. Gold Chip needs to actually push out towards the outside. Unfortunately, if we push towards the outside, I don't get any acceleration, so it's literally just end closer acceleration that we get. Is this 777 proc? This is going to be really, really strange, because I'm going to get hit by 3 to 4 Dominators, so shrug. That being said, because my Simply Rudolph is in the way back, we get to proc Dominator as well. Funny enough, Simply Rudolph dominating forward results in no Dominator because you need to be in the back to do it. Unfortunately, unless we hit dueling here, we don't actually pass. Okay, now we pass. Haha, Guts? Question mark? No. Yeah, Guts. We also hit our velocity skills. Without the velocity skill here, because of this uphill existing as well, dueling RNG. So, as we're actually shooting for Group A finals, because, you know, there's never a non-zero chance, although, to admit, I have not won against a single UG Uma Musume comp yet. It is not 0 because on the off chance I know a trainer that went up against A pluses with a UG Uma Musume, and it did not work out for them. The cause was blocking into rushed. So, and this was a Christmas Ogre cap as well, so that, when you're blocked, boy, do you just take the loss. So I see at least 2 front runners here, 3 front runners, 2 front runners. Okay, that's what I want to see now. Whether or not we actually get to profit from that is a whole different issue. But otherwise, this looks like to be a very interesting run. So I'm not going to explain why, but it is going to be interesting. So without further ado, off we go. But yeah, if the front runners are built well, if just 2 front runners can do it. 3 front runners, I would personally like to do 3 front runners. Unfortunately, I would never do a comp like that because it's already intensive enough for me to try and build 2 front runners. Building a 3rd front runner means I have to, means I want to personally try and tune all 3 Uma Musume to also do some dueling procs as well, or fish for dueling procs. Without dueling procs for me, I don't feel like I can make a front runner comp really reliably. That being said, let me flip that around. It isn't the hardest thing in the world, although you do require some cards here, some support cards here and there from near the beginning of global server. Without that, you're really looking for banners, so you might have to put some money in. Gold Chip pushing too far forward, so this is a big oopsie for me, but maybe we drop into 6 with a good Pump Iron proc. It's not often likely. Yeah, another Gold Chip even procs their anchors away. Although, if we proc our anchors away, that would be nice. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen, though. We're too far forward. Those 2 front runners are also very far forward. So, this is going to be an interesting final leg of the race with Gold Chip pushing too far forward. So, without further ado, hope we duel with this Kita-san Black hope Gold Chip duels with Kita-san Black. If she does, great, things work out. If not, there's a very low chance we win here. So no, we're not close enough to duel. Well, that's unfortunate. Instead, Ogre Cap duels, but that's not the dueling we needed. So yeah, this is a bit too much. It looks like it, but yeah, we really needed the dueling there. And then a very early enclosure straightaways would have been enough. Literally RNG here, but again, that's not to say that your hard work won't pay off during training. Whether you're lucky in training more often or you know what you're doing and you run a consistent strat that has less risk and then you hit the RNG that you need, whether it's 3 to 4 supports hitting the same thing, or you are hitting supports, two supports from a 2-2-2 deck or a 3-2-1 deck, something like that. I've seen some 3-2-1 decks because, again, if you're free, the more free to play you are, the more you have to just work with what you've got. In my case, I am a bit lucky. I have a full Biko Pegasus, but that's only if I really require the speed, which is primarily a gold chip issue, so shrug. Again, this is just my opinion and observations. I know I've been wrong on some things because I'm trying to remember things, but hey, I'm doing my best. So, we're going to do vertical mode just so I can get better thumbnails. I hit my fingers on the table, and how many fronts do we have? Just a Seiyun Sky? That's not positive or negative, it's an observation, though I do want to see that. One front runner I feel a lot more comfortable with. Everyone is taking Firm Course Menace. I guess technically I should have taken it as well. It's the more consistent option, but I've run into more than a few compositions in which they're not running Firm Course Menace. It's mainly because you might as well take it if you're running Naruto Top Road support card, but shrug, right? Because I've had less problems with Firm Course Menace Musumes than, for example, a very blatant example is fronts with just a bunch of velocity skills, because that's how frontrunners are. But, late surges and end closers running a lot of mid-game velocity into end velocity with acceleration is... I would prefer that, personally. But I should rethink taking more green skills if needed. Although, if they're, things like right-handed, left-handed, you want to take those as well. But, anyway, as we're actually in our 7th position as gold chip and our Christmas Ogre is looking for one more skill, either 777s or UMA equals UMA squared. Let's see what happens. Simply Rudolph actually being in the back here, but that's fine as well for the moment. White Lightning from this Tamamo Cross. I wasn't taking a look at the Uma Musume and the trainers here, so I'm just going to observe what's happening on screen. We did hit our Christmas Miracle, though, so everyone's going to be accelerating. Gold Chip, unfortunately, not getting 6, so it seems like she drops out, so we need a dueling proc. So, always tends to be a dueling proc, although we do get our fake double Dominator with Tether and Dominator. So, it's up to Christmas Ogre to pull out the works here. We do get our dueling, but since we're swinging on the outside, boy, is it a uphill battle to fight. So, if you didn't know, swinging on the outside means that you have a lot more distance to cover, which results in, well, you have a lot more distance to cover, so not really much else to say there. So, if this is not the final race, we'll do a final race. If this is the final race, I'll do the rest of my entries later on. But, without further ado, let's get into our last race. So, you need 3 wins. I'm going absolutely crazy. I'm too focused, because on the side, I'm also looking at notes where I'm trying to prepare for the future, not just Taurus Cup and even just the Champions meeting after that, both of which I think are medium, so it's medium, mile, but I'm also trying to plan out basically my support cards, and I'm waiting for the summer, if that wasn't already apparent enough. So, without further ado, I didn't check. If someone else is running Guts, that would have been interesting to see. I think I've only seen a few Guts Uma Musume, like, in the past CM. I don't think I've seen one yet, although I do skip a lot of my races later on. Yeah, for later entries, after I clinch Group A, I just speed through the races, so it's not much to talk about. That being said, the only way I use my Christmas Ogre does take first here is if she procs, like, very good velocity skills right before the early leg. With groundwork there, that's with groundwork, Ogre caps in pace, that's a lot less likely. So, shrug, right? So yeah, the normal Simply Rudolph's the normal Grass Wonders for Dominator. Although I personally just like to run Simply Rudolph myself, but yeah, as you saw, my Simply Rudolph stats and skills, it's not the best. So I have to do the best of what I've got. That being said, something I mentioned in the last episode, and if I didn't, I'll mention it again, is that Simply Rudolph here does have a lot of X cells, that allows her to pull forward in the final leg to allow primarily Gold Chip to proc dueling, as our Gold Chip actually takes third for some reason, because... man, no fronts means this is a very gold... I have to rely on Gold Chip. The problem in this CM is that you are also looking at Ogre caps, so shrug, right? Now, the interesting thing is if all the Christmas Ogre caps do their Fist of Miracles, Gold Chip can drop back down to 6 and then pump Iron. But with the distancing as it is, it's a little odd to see. So... without further ado, we hope for the best and pray, because this is a lot of ground to make up for. So, As we sit here, we can proc dueling. Third and fourth simply root off into gold chip, but this that's a lot of distance to cover. And since we haven't already proc dueling at right about now, it's going to be a lot of ground to make up regardless. So I think that was a distance length to cover. The dueling does help out. We'll probably see like gold chip appear there, as I just said. But yeah, it's a lot of distance to cover. How much was that, by the way? Let's take a quick look. So yeah, 7 links, so it was a distance to cover because of all the backup that we had here. I think Ogre Cap took like, oh yeah, 6. So yeah, without further ado, gonna do the rest of my entries, gonna look for the wins. Yeah, 3 wins required in an entry, and off we'll go. I think there's only been 1 CM, maybe 2 that I've been Group B in. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. If you have anything to say, you know what to do. Otherwise, I'll get back to training. That being said, I did miss more than a few trainings, so it doesn't help out. You do want to get your trainings in if possible. That being said, Track Blazer is a lot. Also, this is a Major Orion in Unity Cup, so just fishing for certain skills here. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!